Welcome to Language Power. Learn Norwegian in 17 years. After listening to this course, the student will be able to present themselves in Norwegian, Danish, and Swedish. Understand the basics of Norwegian small talk, have a basic understanding of local Norwegian customs and traditions, count and correct other people's grammar, especially Germans. Appreciate hot food from petrol stations. Gossips, of course, and learn where the good spots in Oslo are for buying hash. Get 10% discount by telling the dealers to follow Language Power on Facebook and leave a comment.
Be amazing. Our first sponsorship.
Yes, and now I have to tell my Norwegian viewers about what this is all about.
Okay.
This is about I dette kurset har jeg vært opptatt av å formidle det virkelige språket. Jeg lar kursdeltageren Jeppe, altså Jamie Andrews, faktisk bruke det språket som folk bruker rundt ham. Det er viktig at eleven ikke bare lærer et klasseromsspråk som bare brukes blant bibliotekarer og eldre mennesker. Hovedmålsetningen med dette kurset har vært å presentere det norske samfunnet. Jeg har etter beste evne prøvd å formidle de kulturelle kodene man trenger for å bli en aktiv deltager av Horten og andre mindre byer. So, Jamie, I was telling the people, our fans, at Wembley, because this is a live show.
Is it?
And
yes.
You haven't seen outside the window today? So
some birds.
Yes, 100,000 birds at Wembley today. So in this course, I'm telling them about what I've been teaching you, day and light. And day and light is wrong.
Day and night?
Day and night, sorry. I've been concerned with the shaping the real language and that you participate and use the language that people actually talk around you, not the classroom language that some motherfuckers speak like old people. Classroom language is not what this is about. This is about
getting a more rounded education. I noticed that I now need to learn Danish and Swedish.
Yes, Danish and Swedish are cousins and nephews of Norwegian. Or Danish or Norwegian and Swedish are nephews, and the other way around. But Finnish.
Finnish, I need to learn Finnish as well?
Yes, that would be the last. That's why it's the Finnish. It comes from a Russian language group. That's another language power.
Yeah.
It is not for us. That is...
Do you know any Finnish?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I think Perkele. That's the only Finnish I know.
Yeah, and it's Aisapeite, which is in all the hotel rooms. On the oven, it means don't cover the oven.
Oh.
Yeah. So,
why would you cover the oven?
To dry clothes or to just, dry a condom and use it.
That makes more sense, yeah.
So I was telling you about, because I just was, I came right from a funeral now.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry too. Oh, sorry. And we were talking yesterday about rum.
Yes, we were talking about rum.
Yeah, that I need to find a rum because I don't like to drink whiskey, and rum is more me.
Yeah.
And at the funeral, they were talking about that the person who deceased, left us. How do you say it in English?
Recently deceased.
Recently deceased. The person that recently deceased, they had a production company called Zacapa.
What's Zacapa?
That's the rum I was telling you about that I was drinking very much and had alcohol problems because of.
Oh, I see.
No,
what was the problem? It's too expensive.
Yes. You don't should not become an alcoholic of the most expensive alcohol.
Yeah, that's a bad idea.
The cheapest is good.
Yeah.
Local breweries.
Yeah, I mean, hand sanitizer works, doesn't it, I guess?
Yeah, hand alcoholic is the best alcoholics. The cheapest one. So a first price alcoholic is an economic reasonable person alcoholic. But I came from a funeral and I was just thinking while I was driving here that people in Norway are very calm, calm.
Yeah.
Calm. And that's important also to learn and talk about that. To become a Norwegian citizen, you need the Norwegian calmness.
Yeah.
And because this is a calmness that not people everywhere have. You know, in a funeral here in Norway, I had my parents. But you're English, so you'll understand. It's almost the same. But Norway has an even higher level of calmness. They're very calm.
Yeah,
you can have their family shot right in front of their faces, and a TV channel can say, "How do you feel right now?" And they'll have a calm answer. I don't feel so good. Give me 5 minutes, please.
Yeah.
But if you go to Asia or Africa, or Asia especially where I come from, they'll scream and lose their voice as if they've been to a rock concert for years.
Yeah.
And that's a part of the culture, you know.
It's understandable, really.
Yeah, you tear, but not if you look at it in a religious perspective.
Oh.
You just come to another better place if you've done good. So why are you crying, you religious person?
Oh.
He's coming closer to God and to maybe paradise if he's been done the right stuff. So they're crying like, oh, they're getting to hell. Everybody is, he wasn't a good person. But Norwegians, they act, even though they're atheists, they act like, because they know, most of them, that you'll just be eaten by rats and disappear. But they act as, just they're going to another level in this game.
See, there is a time when Norwegians aren't calm, though.
When they're masturbating? Oh, sorry.
I don't know. They're probably still calm then as well.
Yeah.
I'm just calmly masturbating.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. I'm coming very calmly. Yeah.
We've got lots of elderly people with erection problems.
Sorry.
So
we
need to.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, that might be a good link in a minute. Elderly people with erection problems, but when Norwegians are drunk, they're not calm then. Then all of a sudden, the need for 15 meters of personal space and no small talk just goes out of the window.
Oh yes, yes.
And they all that repression that they've been building up since the last time they got drunk for
especially
human
liquor.
Connection. Yeah.
And just recently, for a couple of days ago, I spoke to a Norwegian friend of mine. I bought some Jägermeisters and I said, drink it. And she was like, if I drink this, you'll see the real me.
Oh, no.
And so I said, what's the real you? You turn into a vampire or a boy, or what? To take off your wig? No. And she said, like I've heard 1,000 times before, there wasn't anything. You'll see the one I don't oppress, and the bullshit I need to take personality will disappear. So
it's like a mask then that everyone wears before they get drunk.
Yeah, and maybe not as big mask. To keep calm. Yeah. To be normal, to not be the chicken that is different than the other chickens in the farm. It's a Norwegian expression.
Yeah, that makes...
Yeah, I looked at your eyes.
It's just like...
Where did the chickens come?
Yeah, that makes no sense.
So I've been to a Pakistani funeral, and there it's all about tearing your hair out of your head.
Oh.
Like, screaming, so you have... And then there's a person weighing your hair, and it's like, oh my God,
so you were the most
250.
upset.
You must be close family. But here, I had my parents with me on a funeral a couple of years ago, and they had never been to a Norwegian funeral. And they were acting like if they were in Iran, if they had machine guns, they would shoot to the roof. And they just overheard the conversation where somebody called them and said, hey, how was the funeral? And they said, very good funeral. Yeah, the meatballs were exquisite. And I just loved it. So my parents were like, what the fuck are you... Love the funeral? And meatballs? Talking about the food? And outside the church, even as today, people are laughing, telling jokes, and often morbid jokes.
Yeah.
Yes, you love the meatballs. Yeah, that was the deceased one, wasn't it? Oh, it was. That's why it was so familiar taste. So it's people, but in a Pakistani funeral, if you love the funeral, it's great, and love the meatballs, so then you become the meatball yourself.
The meatball, yeah.
So it's like unheard of.
Yeah.
They said, was this a party, or is it, they're not afraid of death?
Did they go to the wake? Do you have wakes in Norway as well?
Wakes, like after...
the after funeral.
Gravel.
Yeah, where everyone drinks.
Yeah, they don't drink though.
Did they go to the wake and see people drinking?
Yeah. And like there were no signs of bad dårlig stemning.
Dårlig stemning?
Yeah. You can look that up after the show.
Okay.
All the words I say in the Norwegian is words that are very difficult for me in English.
I see.
But it was bad stemning.
Stemning.
Yeah. So I was So calmness is very important. To be calm. Are you a calm person?
I'm trying to work out how this has got anything to do with rum.
Oh no, the person that died worked in a production company called Zacapa Films, and they named the rum after that they were on a boat outside Guatemala, I think, with the rum bottles in their boats.
That's really cool.
And it was the best rum in the world, and it's very good harvesting place to harvest and the film production and so on. So that's why. So I just thought that in memory of her, I'll
drink some more.
keep on drinking that rum.
Yeah, that's a really good idea.
Yeah,
You'll
and I
always
like it.
remember them,
It's a bit expensive, but you have something called Spleis in Norway where people can, give you money.
Yeah, is that just the job?
No, of course, if, for example, you need money for an operation, surgery, or something, people can collect money for you.
Oh.
By an app. A very good idea. And with Spleis, I can say that, hey, I'm alcoholic, but I just only drink the finest rums in the world.
Do you know what? You should do that for a joke. See if
the first squeeze of the sugar canes.
You should actually do that. See what happens.
Yeah, because... and if I get money, then...
I suppose we'll have to give it to an alcohol charity or something.
Yeah. So, Norwegian calmness, again, it's very important. And that's a part of being Norwegian. And I'll give you an example of something that's quite interesting. This happened a couple of years ago. Just to give you an example of how calm they are.
Yeah.
I was driving my car the other day, the other year ago or something, and I was talking on the phone, and I drove my car without noticing. I drove my car right into another car, at the car, and it's the nicest thing I've done for a long time. Yeah, because we're in Norway, so this guy gets out and he shouts, "Oh, you literally destroyed my bumper." Not bad. And I was, yes. Oh, the left turn signals in my car doesn't work either. Oh, wow. Oh, fuck. The door is fucked. Oh, no. It's impossible to drive this car. How did you do? And I said, I just got a little whiplash, but I'm okay. It's he says, okay, let's go to that cafe over there. They have such good cinnamon buns.
Really?
Yeah. So if you bring your form, the accident form that you have in the car.
You carry an accident form in the car?
Yeah. You don't have that in the car? In the Norwegian cars, you have an accident form.
Oh, that's cool. No.
So
in the
both
UK,
parts,
you just exchange details.
Yeah. And what happened?
Oh.
And you can have your own version. I was hit by an alien object or something, but then you get your insurance company to look at the stuff, and you should take pictures. So I just asked me to bring the form, and we could go over to that cafe there and fill it out there.
Yeah.
So it's incredibly nice to crash in Norway. If you want to make friends, just crash into their cars, and it's not the first time it's happened, because I've crashed a lot, and it's like 10 years ago, it was front to front. And the guy, is it front to front you call it? The front, and he shouted, "Oh my God, front to front." It's not where every day you get to experience that. Are you on Facebook?
Are you friends still?
Yeah, I have him on Facebook, and drive safely with a smiley face, and that's other countries you don't have that.
No, you don't.
There are no other countries. Accidents are such an enjoyable experience as in Norway. I've crashed in Pakistan once, and I was there in the 90s. I was there. Were there?
Yeah.
Sorry, I started to get delusional. So it was raining, so we didn't see, and I crashed into another car and got out, and I was being Norwegian, so I shouted, "Ha ha! Damn! You took the whole bumper!" And yeah. Let's go over to that cafe over there. They got great falafels there. Bring your form. I didn't know that they didn't have forms in Pakistan or even England.
Yeah.
So such good falafels, I really look forward to those falafels. Come on, it's raining outside. Bring your form, man. And then I heard a sound of a shotgun charging.
What?
And he was like, what form? Your death certificate? So, no, you motherfucker, are you blind? And I said, yeah, probably I am. Let's go and order those falafels, shall we? And he wasn't ready to go in a cafe or eat falafels or whatever. He was like, you motherfucker! Look what you did! I said, yeah, I'm standing in front of you. I'll kill your mother! And he took the whole, and I'll kill your dad! I'll take your uncles! Everybody is going to die. You don't know who I am, do you? I said, well, can't we just order a coffee first and the falafel and we'll talk about it? They was like, oh, my will capsule, it's gone. Do you have animals? Yeah, I've got some. My uncle has a farm. I'll take your chickens too, just wait. So I said, but what about me? What about me? What are you going to do? Oh, you can go. Accidents happen, No, but he was crazy, and my relatives have to go out and stop him. But then it was bragging competition. So what happened was a car bumped into my car, which bumped into that car, which bumped into another car, and the first car in front was a taxi driver. So he got all the blame for all the cars, because the car in front of me, that guy, I'll kill everyone.
Yeah.
He was bragging about and showing license to my uncle that I am, my father is police in charge, chief somewhere. And he was going to call him and all that. So he made the hierarchy there at once. He will pay for everything, or my uncle or father will come. So my uncle, he didn't, like that. Then a fight started, and other cars, and then suddenly it was like 10 people involved, and and then everybody just drove away.
And that was it. There was no.
Yeah, the only problem is that all the cars could afford to fix their cars except the taxi driver.
Oh.
So even though he got the blame but didn't pay for the other cars, he couldn't afford to. So that was like, okay, then his family income and his 10 children and everything is having a sad ending.
That's mad.
Yeah. But here, it's different.
Yeah, although saying that, I do know some Norwegians that aren't calm.
Yeah.
Yeah, like when I first came over here, I did some construction work.
Yeah.
And those, what's a nice way of putting it? So, we were talking about old people with erectile dysfunction problems earlier. That was pretty much the guy that ran the company, and he was very angry.
About that?
Because, he must have been. That must be that he was just this fat old alcoholic called Yule. Yule. So he's named after Christmas, but there was nothing celebratory about him at all, And and he was just really angry and really moody all the time, and he had his little henchmen called trolls, and he was just like a
trolls.
Trolls.
Truls.
And he was just a classic bully, like a classic bully. Like I really like trolls, but then he just like he would always gossip behind people's backs and this, but they was always really, really angry. Like,
why were they angry?
Well, it must
at
be an
you or
erection,
at
just in life, at everyone. Like, and I think honestly that like that it might have been a erection thing.
But did they say something to you?
Well, the company went bankrupt because everyone joined a union. So pretty much after everyone joined a union, they went bankrupt within a month and then started a new company 3 days later. Which, from what I've been told, happens a lot in construction.
Right.
But yeah, like all the Norwegian construction workers, I would say, out of all of them, probably 80% of them were really angry all the time. The guys
Angry
I was
people.
working with, yeah.
Okay.
And
That's
losing
not
their
good.
tempers
And they were swearing, but were
they
cursing
swear.
in Norwegian.
That's what I learned. I learned some tools and some swear words.
Oh,
and some numbers.
What kind of swear words?
What swear words? Just helvete a lot. They'd be like, oh,
What?
fitti helvete, like that. Or
What did you say?
fitti helvete,
What does that mean?
like cunt hell, isn't it?
Yeah, can't tell in a way. It's not fitte i helvete. It's fitt i helvete, and that doesn't mean cunt, but it's
Yeah. But these
but
guys are from Porsgrunn, so they talked a little bit differently.
yeah. People misinterpreted.
But like one of the guys, he would really directly translate everything he'd said. So everything was like hell. Oh, this is like hell, and he'd say it in English, and it was quite strange.
Oh,
He used to say it all the time. Like, oh, this is like hell. Like, everything was like hell.
yeah. So not everybody are calm, of course. It's
they
the
were
regel with the unntak.
They were so. They were just. I mean, they were idiots. Just
Seems
so I
like
can
a
say
very
again,
bad,
yawl and trawls, erectile dysfunction problems. Not that I'm bitter about them or I'm firing shots or anything, but yawl and trawls, erectile dysfunction problems.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there are the rules with some exceptions.
Yeah.
But in general, Norwegians are very calm, and you'll hear that when you compare other nationalities. You know, if you go to a Norwegian and shout, if you're, for example, like me, I can say to someone, "Ah, you motherfucker, your mother is a hooker," and he would say very calmly, "Oh, I didn't know that she had 2 jobs. That's why she come home so late." So is she cheap? Is she good? But if you say that to a Pakistani guy, "Your mother is a hooker," you would never discuss job times. He would like, "Your father is a mother." Excuse me? They won't think.
Yeah.
And back in the days when I was a kid and when I grew up, the Norwegians were so thick-skinned. You could say, "Well, you fucking, you milk." We didn't have any good words to call them. But they would just konstatere fakta. They would just say facts. And people will just explode. They could come to a black guy and say, "You Somali. What did you call me? I'll kill you." Just facts. "Ah, you Pakistani brown boy. You motherfucker, I'll kill you." That was enough to just explode and go bananas. But Norwegians, you can like, "Ah, you mal, you fuckers, you're ugly, you pig." Thank you very much.
Yes, I have eaten a lot recently.
Yes, it must be the smell. So,
well, there's the transformation, though. I think is when Norwegians drink, because they do go from 0 to 100.
Oh yeah. When they drink, it's they become social animals.
Yeah, well,
they are social, but they say that you should have some promille.
Yeah.
Promille. What do you call it in English? Promille?
I don't know.
Alcohol in the blood.
Oh, okay.
I think Norwegian needs more alcohol in the blood, just to come to a level where you can function with other people in a nice way.
Yeah, I think so. Like, well, not all. What I found is like when I worked for the erectile dysfunction company.
Yep.
We went away on this work trip, and we had to stay in a brakke. Which is, like, for anyone else, it's like a hut, like a barracks, essentially.
Yeah.
And we had a drink one weekend, and it was about 8:30, and I had to carry one of the guys to bed because he was so drunk. Put him to bed. Went back upstairs, and everyone had their shirts off, arm wrestling.
Arm wrestling.
Screaming. Yeah, they were arm wrestling at 8:30 in the evening they were drunk, arm wrestling, shirts off, like
every
really,
night, or
no, just like this drink. And I was like, "Fucking hell, what has happened?" And then I went for a piss like half an hour later, came back, and all of the tables and chairs had been moved out of the way of this bracker.
Yeah,
and they're all of a sudden they're trying to teach each other martial arts and wrestling moves. Like they were all trying to spar each other and stuff. It was really strange.
It's always very fun to watch Americans portray Norwegians. They're spelling there's a movie called The Thing, the new version of The Thing,
film.
which is there are lots of Norwegians there, and when they're finished work as scientists, they go to this cabin-ish place, and there's a fireplace, of course. Everything is like an Ivo Caprino movie, like Koselig, which we've talked about earlier. And they're playing the mouth harmonica, and they're singing all stupid songs, and they're dancing as cowboys and arm wrestling, and doing and eating porridge and all the stupid things that I've never seen.
You've never seen, because I've seen a lot of porridge eating and arm wrestling.
Yeah, maybe they do that, but then they're like making fun of themselves.
Yeah,
maybe parodying themselves. But I think I have a I have a theory.
Yeah.
Why are they so calm here when they're not drinking? And it's because of the temperature.
Oh, that makes sense.
It's because in hot countries, if you're hot-minded and you got this temperature and it's itching and scratching and you're sweating, it will help you on the way to explode.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
And if you're like, here it's half freeze, half haltint.
Haltint.
Yeah, it's not it's lunka when it's hot and cold at the same time.
Warm.
Okay. I don't know.
Okay.
That's what warm?
Sorry, warm.
Yeah, that's a good place to condition to be in.
Yeah.
So the conclusion of this bullshit is if you want to become a Norwegian, count to 10. Message from abroad. Massage from abroad. This one is from Thailand, and she's massaging Jamie. Message, sorry.
So this is from my mate Helen from West Croydon. Which West Croydon now, I think it's Wallingham before that in Surrey.
Is there a particular folklore that Norway is known for, such as Iceland is known for its elves and trolls and gnomes? I'm fascinated by that stuff. Is there one that's quite known all the way across Norway?
Is she inside the aquarium?
I think she might have been.
Yeah, she was scuba diving while talking.
Is there a specific folklore that is well known as a part of being stereotypically Norwegian? It's the old stories written by, collected by Asbjørnsen and Moe. Asbjørnsen and Moe.
Oh, just sounded stupid when you say their names in English. But you have the Grimm brothers from Germany.
Yeah.
And in Norway you have the Asbjørnsen and Moe.
Asbjørnsen. It sounds like a detective duo.
Asbjørnsen and Moe, two guys. So they were just traveling around to pubs where you have these arm wrestling guys.
Yeah.
And back in the days where you didn't have music and troubadours and stupid musicians covering other people's songs, they told stories. But they couldn't write or read. They could just tell stories, and it went from orally from one guy to another.
Yeah.
So these guys were smart enough to write down the stories, and that's norske folkeeventyr, the Norwegian folklore lores.
Norwegian folklore.
Yeah, very good. And there's basically three characters. It's Per, Paul, and Askeladd.
Per, Paul, and Askeladd.
Yeah, the three brothers. One is dumb, the other is maybe a bit dumber, and the third is quite dumb, but he is actually the smart guy.
He's quite dumb but smart.
Yeah, for the reader, dumb, but he surprises. And there's always a competition with something, with trolls or something, and you win the princess and half the kingdom.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So
you win
what
Shaman
kingdom?
Durek. The kingdom is the kingdom of Norway.
Oh, is
Yeah,
that
so
why
that's-
it's such a young country? Because it's been won so many times in the past.
In the folklores, yes, it has. So it's so there are lots of folklore. So all the trolls and all that stuff, they're from these stories.
Oh, that's cool.
So it's like the Grimm brothers, or in Asia you have the Tusen og en Natt. What's that called? Arabian Nights.
Yeah, Arabian Nights.
Arabian Nights. And Arabian Nights is actually wasn't a book in the first place. It was orally.
Yeah.
Just people telling stories, and then in France sometimes they wrote down the stories.
Yeah.
And they felt that a couple of stories were missing, and that was Ali Baba and the 48 Thieves and Aladdin. That's not from Asian story. That's the guy who just wrote down the stories and made up his own. And those two stories are the best. So
Says a lot.
so that says
It says a lot.
So
Yeah, James Joyce did a similar thing in Ireland, where he collected lots of folklore and tradition, stories like the Banshee and
yeah.
stuff. It's quite interesting. It seems like that period of history, when more people were starting to learn how to read and write,
Yeah.
became quite important to hunt down that oral tradition and those stories and get them written down somewhere to archive before they...
And now you're in a situation where you must learn to read and write again, and the oral stuff that we will fix.
Speaking, oral as in...
That too. Oh, sorry, I was going for the drums.
Word of the week.
Right, so
Yeah.
talking about the oral tradition, my word of the week comes from something I experienced this week.
This
which
week?
is ventepølse.
Ventepølse.
Ventepølse. So that translates as waiting sausage.
Waiting sausage. So in which situation did you experience that word?
So I was with a Norwegian, and they said that they were hungry, but it wasn't dinner yet. So they went and got a ventepølse.
And how did you interpret it?
A waiting sausage.
Yeah.
Well, I asked them what they meant by waiting sausage, and they looked at me and then they laughed, because obviously the mistranslation seemed a bit weird while we're both in the car. I mean, the leg stroking probably didn't help either, but yeah, a ventepølse is, for the people that don't know, is a sausage or a hot dog that you eat while you're waiting for the main meal, just to keep you tied over as a snack.
Waiting meal.
Yeah.
Yeah, ventepølse. It's a nice word, and it doesn't even need to be a sausage, of course.
No?
It could be...
What else could it be? Carbonara, maybe?
whatever you want to eat as like a smaller meal than the main meal, so you don't like pass out.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, ventepølse. But it is basically, I'm just helping the other immigrants out if they don't eat sausage, and they're like,
that makes sense.
I need a ventepølse, and then they come back with a salad. So, but yeah, ventepølse is basically a sausage, because a sausage is a perfect in-between meal.
In terms of size and protein, I guess. And
and mjuk, mekanisk utbeina kjøtt.
Mjuk.
Mjuk means basically, in English it would be puke. What's inside the sausage.
Oh, I don't know what to say to that.
Isn't it good? Norwegian food.
Yes, and it is very good often, but we've experienced with Jamie that he isn't too fond of too much Norwegian food. I made a statistic on you.
Did you?
Yes. But we'll talk about that in season 2, what the results are. But there are lots of good Norwegian food, and I haven't always given you the best of that product, but today you have something very special.
I do. I've got it on a plate. It's called curry silled.
Curry sill.
Curry sill.
Curry sill.
Yeah, curry sill.
Curry...
So, sill is a type of fish.
Herring.
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 Herring, is that Scottish or Irish?
I don't know.
The word. It's sill, but it's curry, and you've heard the word curry before, haven't you?
Yeah, so it's pickled herring with curry flavour.
Yeah, so before you eat the curry sill, it's something interesting. It's curry sill, it's not curry sill. And curry is maybe a Scandinavian or maybe Norwegian invention, a curry powder. And curry powder has nothing to do with the curry. It's just a mix of some random spices that together are quite good. But
yeah, you get it in the UK, curry powder.
Yeah, so they have the curry on fish balls.
Curry on
fish balls in white sauce with potatoes, and you have the curry powder.
Yeah.
So please enjoy.
Right, let me try this.
So this is curry sill. And
okay,
so Norwegians love that. Of course, not just to eat it raw or like that. They have tilbehør.
I'm going to have some more if that's okay.
Oh yeah, you probably have it with onions and a lot of curry sauce.
Yeah, it's quite crunchy.
So what do you think, and what's your dice?
I really like that. That gets a 4 on the dice.
Very good.
Definite 4 on the dice.
What would you have the curry sill with beside?
Maybe some bacon.
Bacon.
Yeah, chili flakes, maybe some bread, maybe some cracker bread, bit of cheese.
I see. You know what my response to that is?
Oh.
So, sorry.
So, a quiet moment there.
Language.
Björnson and Mo.
Thank you for listening to the Language Power podcast presented by Zahid and Jamie Andrews. Production and music by me, Sean Bartlett. If you enjoyed the podcast, please like, subscribe, and all that good stuff. And if you really liked it, please recommend it to someone else that might really like it.